What it is, YouTube. You know what it is. It's your boy, the Moose. Let's kick it. Right, man, we have an unboxing. Now, I already did the unboxing of the DJ table. Is the DJ table. I'll leave a link up here so you can check it out. But I've already done an unboxing. I really didn't want to do another one on just that table. So recently, I bought that table to add to my setup. And I got it, the first one, and it worked really good for what I wanted done. What I did was I had the DJ table for my DJ mixer. I got the table at 36 inches long. The reason I got that is because, one, a 4-foot table, I was noticing people were putting stuff on my DJ table. So to get away from people putting drinks on my DJ table, putting decorations on my DJ table, and everything else, I shortened the DJ table, and then I got a DJ Facade. So I don't have to have people putting stuff on my table. Because every single client, it seemed like they were satisfied with putting a plant, a picture, or something on my DJ table to make it part of the room. So what I've done is to separate myself from that category. Now there are sometimes, like I'm in a house and like per se my front room is where they got me set up, and then the living room is where they're dancing. So the whole night, nobody comes in that room. Everybody just goes by what I play, and pretty much I can't see the dance floor. Well, I can. I peer into the dance floor all the time. But in that kind of situation where the house party is separated, I can do it. Now, there was one time that I had the dance party, and it was in this big old huge house. Now, what they did for me was they put me right in the door of the kitchen. They danced in the kitchen all night long. For some reason, that's what they wanted to do. But the house was huge. It had a 14-foot Christmas tree in the front room. So it was, I think it was a 24-foot ceiling. It was huge. Okay, so let's get into this. This is what I did. The table, I flipped it over. I took the legs out. I noticed everything that because I noticed that every once in a while I would have to tighten the legs. So I know that there's bolts and screws holding the legs up onto the DJ table. So I was like, I got an idea. Why don't I flip this over and make it a DJ table, eliminating everything and putting it all in one shell. So that's what I did. This video right here of this unboxing is exactly the power core to the whole system. So what I did was I have 5 holes that I put in the table. I'll show it to you today. Video number 2 of this. This is the unboxing, and video number 2 will be the actual setup. I'm going to set it up today. I got to get the speakers out. I got to test them out. I got to make sure everything runs properly before the gigs start this Friday. The table will come out. Now, mind you, I have to get a miter saw, so I have to wait for the miter saw. The miter saw should be in not this week, I think next week. It's going to take me a couple weeks to order the miter saw, but I'm going to order me a miter saw so I can actually cut the metal correctly. Because I can't use 10 snips, it won't work. Because I have to do a 45-degree angle, and the only way to do that is to get the saw. So I'll get the saw, and then I'm going to get the blade for the saw. Actually, the saw comes with the actual metal blade, and I will do an unboxing of that of that saw when I get it to show you what kind of saw I'm using. Now I will be building this table, and if it goes according to plan, I'm thinking about starting doing it myself. Not really. I don't want to do that. It's just too much work, because then you'd have to find out where the clients want their poles and everything. It's a big mess. So I'm not going to do that. But let's get into this box. This box is worried about my DJ setup. But I wanted to share with you the DJ setup. Now this is from the iDJ Now, actually courtesy of eBay. I buy all my stuff from eBay. I can get like really good deals from iDJ Now off eBay. This is like the third time that I've bought stuff from iDJ Now off eBay. Okay, so this is the book that they send me. Wow, they have motion white speakers. Oh, they even have white XLR white clutch 20-inch white XLR female to male cable. iDJ Now has it. DJ Bright Eyes. Wow. These are cushions. There's a big old box for this. I thought it was just going to come in a bag, but it didn't. It came in a. It's a PROX. It's basically blue. When you're buying these, you want to make sure that you buy these like this. Now you can make them if you want. But to be honest with you, the only thing that I really want not made is this. I want them to professionally make it. For some reason, I think it would be better for that to happen. So pretty much, let's get into this and show you what the wire looks like, and then we can. So it's a PROX Live Performance. This is a 25 foot at 14. So it's an XC Power 14 by 25 foot. Excuse me. So basically, this is what you need to power your DJ setup with. When you're powering your setup, I'm going to share this with you. If you're inside, this would be perfect. If you're inside anywhere, this is perfect. It's 25 foot at 14 gauge. Basically, this is my role model. This is what I explained to the bride of the last one, because she said what they're on the trailer. When I was set up on the trailer, they actually had me. I'm going to share you this with you. They actually had a 10, a 12, and a 14 all laid out for me. You don't get that at any gig. But anyway, so they had that ready for me. One had three prongs, and the other had just a single prong. The one in the prong that had the 3 was actually the 12 gauge. So I plugged into the 12 gauge because basically that's what you want to do anyway. When you're running a sub, anywhere 50 feet or above, you need to make sure you have the proper wire to run that sub. The sub I have is 15, it runs a 15 amp, up to 15 amps. And it goes up to 15 amps. It doesn't clear 15 amps the whole time. It never does. Nothing ever will stay. If they say it's 15 amps, that's because it needs 15 amps, up to 15 amps to operate. It doesn't pull 15 amps the whole time. It doesn't. Nothing does that. Nothing does. Just like when your car idles, you turn it on, it idles higher. It idles higher when you turn the car on. But then after it sits for a minute, you can listen, your engine will go idle lower. And then when you're driving, it actually idles lower than when you turn it on. Just a little note. Now, a lot of people don't know that. Power is the same way. Now, if I were to take that sub, now I'm going to tell you this. If I were to take that sub, depending on how many people are in the room, and I turn it up, I do maybe 200 people at most, or less than 200 people, so I don't turn it up over a quarter of an inch. Now, if I were to do maybe 300 people, I could probably see turning the sub up halfway. Now, that's basically by the sound. Because you're going to get in a big gymnasium with that big old 18-inch sub, man. You don't need to turn it up that much. I don't care how many people you got in the room. You actually, I get into, I did one school, they told me to turn it down. So that sub is a boss, man. It is the boss. And I see people bring two 12-inch subs to their gigs, and I'm like, man, I couldn't bring one. Excuse me. So anyway, be on the lookout for the actual setup with this. I'm going to show this in return, and as you can see that it has a red thing on it. This is built really good. I like it. But anyway, this basically clicks into the piece, and then it just clicks in and clicks, and you pull this out. You pull this little gray thing out, and then a little gray thing here. This little gray thing, you pull it out, and it actually releases. So this basically is going to be the power to everything. And it even has an inspection sticker thing, bobber here, that's put in the screen. So anyways, all right. So that being said,